Good morning. Welcome to this morning's meditation here on the Deanne Awakening Love page. Please say hi and where you're tuning in from. Good morning. Lovely to see you, Sherry. Good morning, Mitch again. I'm back. Oh, I've been back a little while, but definitely struggling with the 8 a.m. thing. Just need to get to bed a bit earlier. Good morning. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all of you, wherever you are in the world. Good morning, Washington. So yes, I'm here and I'm going with the flow again. But I think I need to get to bed a bit earlier. Such is life. It's like that when you go with the flow. It's very warm here this morning. How are you all? What's happening where you are? Yeah, you've been sleeping. Yeah, of course. So important. I've just, my body clock's just got a little bit out of sync the last few days. So I just need to regroup and sort that out so that I can be possibly back at the 8 a.m. unless I need to be here at this time now. I don't know. Maybe I need to be here at 9 a.m. now. Oh wow, things are starting to open up. That's great. Hello, lovely, whoever just popped up on my screen. Please say hello and where you're tuning in from. It's nice to see a few of you this morning. Yeah, I think things are changing here as well. I mean, I guess a lot of it doesn't really affect my day-to-day life, so maybe more's changed than I realise at the moment. I went for a lovely walk yesterday, but I'm feeling it in my back this morning. So yeah, I don't know what it is about. Maybe I can't walk as much, or maybe I just need to ease myself gently into the whole walking thing again. I'm not sure, but it was great to go out, get some fresh air, get in nature again. I just love walking. What can I say? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Berlin. Good morning, Blackpool. Lovely to see you all. What's the general consensus? Is this time better than the 8 a.m? Is 9 a.m. better? 9 a.m. British summertime, London time. Does that suit everybody better? You know, I'm, as I was saying yesterday, very much open to going with the flow. So if it's time to change and be here a little bit later, then I can flow with that. That's cool. I'll just rearrange my day a little bit more. Yeah, what do you feel? How are you all feeling about me being here at this time? It's like an hour later than usual. Let me know if it feels good. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. Hello. That's the other thing about being on at a different time. Different people find me. Maybe that's what it's all about. Anyway, lovely to see so many of you here this morning. And yeah, it feels like it's going to be a nice day here. The sun's trying to come out behind me. It might even come out while I'm on this, who knows. So yesterday we had a session all about boundaries, didn't we? Which kind of just flowed. I actually have no idea what I'm going to talk about today at all. And that's often the case. I just kind of go with the flow and whatever arises in the moment. Yeah, I think it's very much about going with the flow at the moment. Good morning, Glens of Antrim. Where's that? Is that in Scotland? Sounds Scottish. Let's have a look what you're saying. Thanks. You did it at 8 a.m. for so long. Maybe you need a break and do it at 8 a.m. at 9 a.m. I think you mean, don't you? So you're not so rushed. Yeah, I think you're right, you know. Yeah, maybe I should do it at 9 a.m. now. Good morning. Good morning to the lovely lady that sent me stuff for my back. Thank you. I do appreciate it so much. I'm good with any time, but 9 a.m. would work better. Ooh, well, there's a general consensus going on here. Ireland, right, okay. Good morning, Ireland. Wow, so we've got Berlin, USA, Ireland. Yes, I know. I knew you meant 9. It's okay, don't worry about it. Right. Oh, in that case, I'm going to do 9 o'clock from now on then, because, you know, that's how we flow. And yeah, I think it would be better for me, especially if I'm going to decide to go to bed so late all of a sudden, which is what I've been doing. And actually having a little rest in the day as well. So obviously then that makes me stay up later because I can't go to sleep as early. So yeah, it's kind of got out of sync. But I think considering I've done so many days around 8 o'clock, that's pretty good going, really. We are on like day, goodness, must be like nearly day 80 now of these daily meditations, which is quite incredible. Not all on this page, of course, but we did a couple of evening ones, didn't we? And then we did quite a few on the other page, and now I think it's day 30 something on this page. So yeah, it must be coming up to like 80 days. Actually, you know what? That's quite incredible, isn't it? Yeah, that's pretty incredible. No wonder I've gone to 9 o'clock. Right. Okay, sounds like you're all much better if I'm here a little bit later. So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Change it up a bit. Why not? So anyone got any questions for me about spirituality, meditation, or what, do you want to share anything that's going on for you at the moment? Good morning, Scotland. Wow, we've got Scotland, Ireland, Berlin, USA, Blackpool, goodness, amazing. I love this. It's so cool how we can all gather from all over the world for meditation. It's like global meditation. Maybe I should start calling it global meditation, because it is, isn't it? If we're all over the place. Yeah, and it seems like new people are finding me. Don't know how you're finding me or where you're coming from. Well, obviously you're coming from Ireland and Scotland, but still, I'm not sure how these, you know, where my videos go, how people see them. I do share them, so maybe it's to do with that, and you find me that way, or maybe you just stumble upon them randomly when you need them. Who knows, right? Can you tell me the best way round and the best way to ground, and connect to source? That's a great question. More people from Ireland. Wow, okay. Good morning, Ireland. Right. Best way to ground is being in nature and actually taking your shoes off and walking on grass. That's a really, or the beach if you're near a beach. But yeah, taking your shoes off, walking on grass is really good for grounding. And of course, eating foods that come out of the ground. So like potatoes. I mean, I can't eat potatoes, but you perhaps can. Sweet potatoes, carrots, any food that's coming out of the ground helps to ground you. It has that energy in it, that chi that's grounding. But I think the very best thing is to take your shoes and socks off and walk on grass. That's meant to be very good for grounding. I did actually know someone, I might still be connected to her on Facebook actually, and she used to walk around go everywhere without any shoes on. She would literally go everywhere and anywhere without any shoes on. And I actually really think that's really cool, and I think we should all do that. But easier said than done. We've been so conditioned to wear shoes. But if you take your shoes off, and walk in nature, walk on the beach, if you can, then that's really, really good for grounding. So just coming back to your other question, where has it gone now? So that's really good. Connecting to source, well, you are source. So technically you're never disconnected from source because it's what you actually are, ironically. But meditation, connecting to source through meditation. Also, things that are really good are, and I'm going to do this when it gets a little bit warmer, sitting outside in the morning and getting the sun's rays. Watching the sun come up is a really nice way to connect to source, to the life force energy, because we get so much from the sun. We get, not only do we get the warmth, but we get the light. And in the light is information, and the information gets filtered into our bodies, and we use that information in different ways. So it's a really good way to upgrade your DNA and to really connect you with yourself, the earth, and all the elements, is to get out in the morning sun, watch the sun come up, and really connect to the sun. And you can do things like take crystals outside with you and refract the light of the crystals into your chakras. There are various different things actually that you can do, but really one of the main ways to connect with source is in meditation, because then you come into that space of silence, of peace, of connection with yourself, and you are source. So it's all about reconnecting and remembering that connection with yourself more than anything. And once you begin to do that and you make that a priority, life starts to flow in different ways. You live from an inspired place, you live from an encouraging place, and you live in a place of service. So to tune in and connect with your true self, your higher self every day, which is source, which is God, which is the energy that flows through everything, is really beneficial for your inspiration and your life. Spirit guides push us together. Yeah, well, spirit guides are always guiding us. That's the whole point of them, isn't it? They guide us to who we need to be connected to where we need to go. We have to connect to source to be able to hear that. Oh, hello. Psychic medium. Yes, nature. Good morning. Good morning. I was recommended to you by, I won't say names out loud. Okay. No, sweet. Oh, I used to live in Devon. For a long time, actually, I lived in Devon, so I know Devon pretty well. I have a lot of friends down there and family there. Yeah, gardening is really good for grounding as well, Yes, absolutely. And the breath, of course. And I do, when I do my meditations here in the mornings, I share exercises with the breath as well to really help to connect you with your breath. And that is also very grounding, because grounding is to be present with yourself. To be present with life in the moment is to be grounded. And we ground by connecting with spirit, with our higher self, and connecting with the earth. And those two things align us and ground us. Thank you. It is beautiful. I think we all love the sun. I don't know anybody who doesn't like the sun. Standing at a doorway, breathing to ground if you feel ungrounded. Yes. Yes, self-love is very important. Hello, USA. Gosh, you're all here this morning. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be here at this time. That's made my mind up now. Can see lots of familiar faces. Lovely to see you all. Anyone in California, by any chance? Always wanted to go there. Yeah, anyone else got any questions or want to share anything? Any energy vibration flows through us. Beautiful, shine on, God, Goddess. Yes. We are energy in motion. Emotion. We are energy in motion. Energy in form. We are creation in form. I'm in Staffordshire, Stoke-on-Trent, Staffordshire. That's where these are reaching you from. Very high vibration, shadow light, no fear. Anyone have any more questions about meditation or anything to do with spirituality, or want to share anything? I'm really happy to answer questions. In fact, it's one of my favourite things is to answer questions. Often I don't just like to just talk. It's nice to have interaction. I really appreciate all your comments and sharings this morning and your hellos and everything else. What's the best way to get out of a low vibration? Ooh. The best way to get out of a low vibration is to accept that you're in one. And as soon as you do that, your vibration starts to rise. But there are practical things that you can do. Mantras, kirtan. So that's chanting mantras, singing, dancing, meditating, sharing. All of those things raise your vibration. Music raises your vibration. But singing and chanting are really good for raising your vibration, but also recognize there's actually nothing wrong with being in a low vibration. We have to go from one to the other. This is the flow of life. We go from feeling a certain way one moment to feeling another way another moment. It's not good to say that what we're feeling at any given time is wrong or bad or not okay. We just in a constant flow and flux with life, with energy, with how we feel, with what comes to us. So yeah, as soon as you recognize that you're in a low vibration, so maybe that's just you're feeling sad or something, or stressed, or maybe some fear comes up or anxiety or something, just accept that that's how you're feeling in that moment and allow yourself to feel it. And once you do that, you give space to that feeling, that emotion. It dissolves because the vastness of your being, you are so vast, your consciousness is so vast that only what is true will remain. So that emotion will just pass through like a wave, a wave on the ocean. But you have to allow it to move through you. And life is always moving through us in waves. This is why, sometimes we feel sad, sometimes we feel happy, but we have to know one to know the other. If we don't know what it means to be sad, how can we recognize happiness? If we don't know what it means to feel love, how can we recognize when we're not feeling love? All of these, this is life, the yin and the yang. And it is about accepting ourselves in our humanity. We are spirit in form. So we are continuously bringing more and more of that spirit, of the vastness of our being, into form, especially those of us that are dedicated to our path of becoming more and more of what we are and recognizing what we are. This is what happens as we bring more and more of our spiritual being, of the vastness of what we are, our consciousness, into our bodies. And that means that we literally call all the parts of ourselves that we have maybe fragmented at different times in our lives. We call all of those parts of ourselves back, bringing us into wholeness. So what you're feeling in any moment isn't wrong. So don't judge yourself. Be kind to yourself. Recognize, okay, now I'm not feeling so great. Maybe I'm in a bit of a low vibration. That's okay. You have to feel it to move through it. So it's just recognizing to give yourself that space to feel it so that you can move through it. And never saying to yourself that, that's not okay, that's not acceptable, I need to feel something else now. Don't do that to yourself. It's actually quite harmful to do that. Then you're fighting with yourself. Essentially, you're saying, you shouldn't feel like this, or you should feel like that, and so move on quickly to a higher vibration. Doesn't work that way. Just continually accept what is arising for you, and then you can move through it with ease and grace. Never tell yourself that you're wrong for feeling something. It really doesn't help. It makes things much worse. Love your advice. Thank you. Yeah, self-love. Self-love is so important. Do you ever get triggered? Of course. Of course I do. Not very often, actually. But yeah, of course I get triggered occasionally, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then, and then I look at that. I look at what showed up. How am I triggered? What is it I'm thinking or feeling about that situation or whatever? And use it as a learning curve, use it as a learning curve. Just to listen to that, because whenever anyone or anything triggers us, it's just a lovely reminder that we just need to look at what's true, what's real, and accept that things will push our buttons through our conditioning, through our experiences, and sometimes because we need them to be pushed so that we can really come back home to ourselves. And that's what life is always doing, bringing us home, continually bringing us home, finding ways for us to come home to ourselves. It doesn't always look pretty. It doesn't always look nice. But that's what happens. Life is always trying to awaken us, enlighten us, show us more of what we are, more of where we are. Yeah, different music has different frequencies. I love listening to you every day. Thank you. Yes, know your triggers and shadow always. Since I started with meditation, I have problems with depression. Can you tell me something about this? Well, yeah, that's an interesting one. So you started to practice meditation, and that has brought up feelings of depression. Well, depression is when we need a break from life. What meditation helps us to recognize is what we are and the truth of who we are. And then all of a sudden we can become dissatisfied with things in life in the way that they are, because we recognize something more about ourselves. this can create a kind of depression because, yeah, depression is really, it's needing to rest, it's needing to regroup and come away from the stresses of life, and to be able to live in a way that is congruent with your spirit, with your truth. Depression always arises when we are stopped from doing what we want to do in some way, or we're listening to other people's advice about how we should live, or we're just simply not allowing ourselves to be who we truly are. And that, that will cause depression, of course it will. So maybe look at those areas. Is there something in that? Are you denying yourself in some way? Is there a part of you that you're not accepting? Or is there something in your life that needs to change? Do you need to change in the way that you're responding to life? Many people suffer mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, for all kinds of different reasons, but always these things come about to bring us deeper into ourselves, to really help us to look at our greatest awakening can come from our deepest suffering, our deepest depression, because then we are pushed and pushed and pushed into looking at what is real, what is true, what we really are, and why we're here, So beautiful. My kids awake, going, "You're amazing, thank you." Oh, love to you. Since I started with meditation, I have problems. Right, yeah, we've covered that. I hope that helps. I've heard depression is frozen anger. Yeah, well, that's a good way to put it as well. I've not thought of it like that, but because you're not allowing yourself to be how you want to be. So depression sets in once you put rules and walls around your life and the possibilities for you, and you shut everything down, then of course you're going to be depressed. You're not able to express your spirit. Being able to express your spirit, the vastness of your potential, it is a way to lift depression. But also, there's nothing wrong with depression. It is an opportunity to awaken. There really isn't anything wrong with it. All these things are labeled, and we're taught we shouldn't feel like that, we should feel like this. But no, accept how you feel. Recognize that maybe there's a time in your life where you need to go through a dark night of the soul, where you need to experience depression, where you need to experience some kind of suffering, and it makes you stronger. It makes the cracks, there's this beautiful saying, the cracks let the light in. Your greatest heartbreak can be your salvation as well, and I'm speaking from experience here, that the things that push us are the things that awaken us, that help us to bring the light in, that help us to speak up, to step up, to shine our light. We have to go into those depths, into that darkness, into that shadow, in order to shine a light into those places and accept those places of ourselves, those parts of ourselves and those places within ourselves. There's a lot of labels and medical terminology, and it's helpful in one way, but once you keep associating with a label and you say, well, I must be this, I'm that, then you're repeating a mantra, and you're continually perpetuating those circumstances by feeding into that label and saying, that I am this, and then you've put yourself in a category of some description, and you are so much more than whatever it is that you are going through. You are so much more than that. With meditation, I go deeper and deeper, and I think it works in me. It does. It does. Meditation is a process, and it's all about connecting with yourself, with the deepest parts of you. so that you can then express those into the world in your experience. And then, you can see the triggers as they arise and you watch them. You can watch yourself respond. Meditation essentially helps us to be from a place of the witness. So instead of engaging in life from a place of always being triggered, and it helps us to just watch life unfold, to be the witness of life. So to be in the world but not of it. And that doesn't mean that you deny how you feel, and it doesn't mean that we're bypassing anything. It's just what a natural process that happens through meditation is that we go into that space of being able to witness life. And witnessing is being present to everything, all that we experience, all that we are. Many experiences that people take for granted in our daily lives can be very blissful experiences and very beautiful experiences when we are fully present with that experience, and we're not caught up in the mind and the mind's chatter and the mind's stories about everything and anything, or our problems. And again, I'm not saying that we bypass those things. We face them head on and we look at where that takes us, because life is always guiding us inwards, 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 if we would only look that way. But we're so conditioned to look out and say, oh, it's all out there and everything's out there, and it's not. Come back to you. Meditation is all about coming back to you and looking at what's here already, what's always been here. Yeah, sound healing is great. That's something that I should have mentioned. Thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, sound healing is really wonderful, and it helps to raise our vibration as well. And also to feel a sound through the body and just to be the witness of that, and then it brings us into a space of meditation. Yeah, exactly. Depression brought me back to being a better person. Depression can feel like you've lost your soul, you've lost your way. But it's a veil that's covering a part of you. Depression is like a veil. So you have to know where to look to move through that. But also, like I say, it's okay. It's okay not to feel okay. It's okay not to be okay. And this is where the breakthroughs come. And we can actually say, I fully accept myself in this moment with everything that I'm feeling, whether it's sadness, joy, depression, whatever it is, whatever the depths of darkness and shadow, whatever it is, the dark night of the soul is a gift. It's a gift to help us awaken. It's a gift to help us see what we truly are. And also to then live from that place, to be in the world from that place. Because like I say, depression is when we push parts of ourselves away. When we deny parts of ourselves and we say, oh, I'm just going to show up as this version of me, this very small boxed version of me that is acceptable for everybody and myself. How well does that go? It doesn't, does it? Because it's you are living life. You are life, essentially. You are life in form, happening every moment, and you're not separate from the moment. The moment is you. You are the moment. So to keep considering everyone else's opinions about what you do or don't do with your life is kind of just going to get you in a mess, and it's going to create more and more suffering for you. So stop that. Just stop it. And I don't mean be mean to people. It's not about that. And sure, you can listen to what other people have to say, but actually you have to live from your own truth, your own heart, and you have to follow your own intuition. Life is here for you. It's not here for you so you can listen to what everyone else is telling you to do all the time. That doesn't work, and that will cause depression. If you know you want to do, like, for example, if you know you want to paint And then someone says, oh, you're not very good at painting. And, you know, and over the years, you build up this idea of, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that, as an example. And you don't do it. That part of your soul that wants to express that is going to get depressed. Of course, it's going to get depressed. You're not expressing yourself. And you've allowed someone else to control your life, your experience. Just don't do it. Good. Glad that helped. Thank you. So, yes, you know, it's all about really live your truth. Don't cut parts of yourself off. Don't deny parts of yourself. So it's a process of loving all of those parts. And remember, life is bringing you back to yourself. And maybe you do have to go through a dark night of the soul. I certainly did. I've been through a few. And it's made me stronger, and it's helped me to really get to know myself, to understand myself, to understand the connection that this soul has with everything and everyone. And that leads to a different perception in life. You know, it leads to another way of seeing things in life, which is so important and so beautiful, to be able to see life from a different perspective, the perspective of beauty and joy and grace. And yeah, you know, then you have a moment where you're like, well, everything's whatever, but keep coming back to that, remembering who you are every moment, remembering the beauty, remembering the grace, because it's all here. It's always been here. It's only our thoughts about everything and our stories that we tell ourselves and our conditionings that stop us from seeing the truth of how life really is, how beautiful the world can be for each and every one of us. You know, it's true. You know, heaven is within us, and also so is hell. You know, and we make a choice moment to moment as to what we want to experience, where we're at, moment to moment. And breathing, coming back to the breath, is what brings us present with ourselves, with source, with life. And it's all about remembering the presence that we are, always. Does anyone else have any more questions or anything that you'd like to share? And you know that I love this to be a space of open sharing. So please, any questions about meditation or spirituality or anything that you would like to share? I just want to send my love to all of you, wherever you are in the world, whatever is going on for you. You know, we're all we're living in very different times now, and people, I still keep hearing people say, oh, when things go back to normal, and I'm like, they're really not. It's not going to happen. This is the birth of a new world. This is the birth of new life, you know, and we're all in a kind of state of cocoon at the moment, where we're growing, experiencing and learning more and more about ourselves, so that we can birth this, because it's birthed through each and every one of us. The new world is birthed through each and every one of us, because we're all points of light and creation. We're all points of light, creation and source in form. Information. You know, we are in form. Spirit in form. Walking, talking, spirit in form. I was in a depression for a long time, I've been finally coming out of it for a while now, and what you said about it was very helpful and true. Thank you. Yeah, you know, we're just taught that how we feel, unless we're feeling happy 24/7, there's something wrong. There isn't anything wrong. You're going through a process. And so many people are going through spiritual awakenings, Kundalini awakenings, and it's being misunderstood, misrepresented. They're being, medicated, and it doesn't help because a lot of people don't understand the spiritual emergency that's happening on the planet right now and has been happening for a long time, but it's speeded up now. More and more people are awakening, and so they're having these spiritual emergencies which can look like breakdowns, but it's a spiritual emergency, and it's an emergence. It's an emergency because the earth needs us to wake up. Life needs us to wake up. Life is calling us to wake up. So this spiritual emergence that can appear as a breakdown is actually a breakthrough. And we need to recognize that that's what's happening with people and, hold the space for them in that. And it doesn't always look pretty. Of course, it doesn't always look pretty. And it can be very traumatic for those that are experiencing it, because to have your whole life that you've known and believed in and understood, and everything you've understood yourself to be, crumble in front of you is shocking. Shocking for the system. Shocking to the conditioning, I am drawn to the concept of living in the moment, but get very distracted with all sorts of worries and things I am stressed about. How do you achieve this? What you are distracted by and the worries and stresses are all coming from the thought process, the mind, the way the mind works, the way that we engage with mind, and how mind is continually and constantly judging everything and trying to create problems and then solutions to solve the problems. When we're fully engaged in the mind, there is a kind of hell that comes from that, which is why meditation is so important, because it helps us to drop into the space between the thoughts, and that's where the peace is, dropping into the space between the thoughts, and that can happen in any moment. So as far as getting distracted, we all get distracted, we all worry occasionally about something or other. It's kind of part of the human experience. And stress is also, and stress is coming from the world being in such a way that is not natural for any of us. So of course we're going to get stressed when we're living in a world that is not supporting our nature, our true nature. It doesn't support our true nature. That's why I was talking about depression as well. We're living in a world that isn't supporting our true nature. That in itself is depressing for the soul. That in itself is stressful for the soul. Yeah, of course. The way to be present is to remember every moment what you truly are, which is consciousness in form. The witness of all of this. And that isn't to say, as I've said before, we don't deny our experience, we don't deny our emotions, we are not bypassing our experience or our emotions or anything that we're going through. But remembering that you are that point of consciousness, you are the awareness of all of it. And that is a continual remembering, moment to moment to moment. And that is achieved by meditation, by continually dropping into the space between the thoughts until the space between the thoughts becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. because where we give our attention grows. So if we give our attention and our energy, because we are vast beings of energy, we have so much energy, it's incredible. You know, we are the energy that creates worlds in physical form, literally. That's what we are. So when our energy goes to our mind and the thought processes a lot, and that's why we, you know, when you think a lot, you get tired because all your energy is going to the mind stuff. In meditation, if you focus your energy on the space between the thoughts, which essentially is the silence of all creation, if you focus your energy on the silence, then the silence will expand and the thoughts will lessen. And that is presence. I'm a very positive person, but it comes now from very deep in me. Well, you know, what does it mean to be positive? That's another label, isn't it? That's saying, well, I can only be positive. I can't be anything else. You just are what you are. You know, you're not expected to be positive. That's the other thing. I think people believe that awakening means that then they're going to be happy 24/7 in a state of bliss continuously. No, it's more that it's more that you dive into the depths of the ocean and you find the contentment, you find the place where the waves just move over and through. So there is that place of peace that is within you, that you're always connected to, that you know is always there. And so as emotions come and they move over that and they move through that place of peace. And as life happens, you know, and challenges come by and they move through that place of peace, and so you're not 24 happy jumping around or 24 in a blissful state. You're just in a place of contentment, in the recognition of yourself as that the depth of that ocean and not the waves and not the current. You know, they are a part of it, but you are that place of peace. Yeah, depression is something to be honoured. It's a gift, actually, because it's life saying your soul is not content here. How are we going to get you to recognise what you truly are? And it's like, we're going to make you suffer so you can see it, so you can really see what's true, what's real, so you'll question everything, and that'll bring you back to yourself. We are all pillars of light, connected, powerful beings. We are. I love that. We are. We are. We are all pillars of light. I like to see that we're like all flames of the same light, and we can ignite the light within others when we burn brighter. And we burn brighter by loving ourselves, by, like I say, being present, finding that space between the thoughts, the silence, and connecting with that. Oh. So, if anyone has any more questions, just let me know now. We're going to move on to the meditation. So if anyone wants to share anything, I think we've got space for one more sharing or question. Yeah, it's all about perception. It's all about how we see everything, and we can't see with the mind. because the mind is going to create a problem. As soon as we look at anything, the mind is only interested in dividing everything, in judging everything, in compartmentalizing everything. That's where, and that's the part of us that keeps us aware that we need to feed ourselves. The ego is the connection between the body mind, and it's the part of us that we need to have it. There's nothing wrong with it, but yeah, focusing our energy on the silence, on the space between the thoughts, that's important. It's more important. Oh, thank you. So if you all want to get yourselves comfortable, if it's late where you are, you can lie down. If not, the ideal position for meditation is sitting with your back straight. I like to cross my legs. Often have my hands facing palms up, or you can put your hand on your heart. Sometimes that's, I like to do that too. It's really good. Heart chakra, connect to your heart. I don't know if I found this out recently, but we were all born as hearts, and then our limbs actually came out of our heart. So it's very interesting that the first organ that was created as we grew in the womb was the heart, and we all formed from the heart. So we're all formed from the heart. So that's our connection, you see. We are one heart. So I think, in view to all the questions and everything we've discussed, we're going to do a silent meditation, and I'm going to guide you into that space of silence that is within each and every one of you. It's not separate from you, it's what you are. And the silence is unfolding within you. So put your headphones on now, go to another room if you need to. Feel free to share this with your friends, tag anybody you want to tag in it. I'm happy to share this with all of you, of course. So we're going to close our eyes now and just breathing into the belly. Or just do a couple of breaths into the belly. And another breath. And just allow your body to settle. The first thing we're going to do is notice how we're feeling. So, what does your skin feel like right now? What's the temperature of your skin? Just notice that. Notice any sounds in the room or outside. Notice your breath. Notice the flow of the breath through the body. Just allowing everything to settle. Now just bring your awareness to where you begin and where you end. And just look for the beginning and ending of you. Where do you start? Where do you end? Just look for that place that defines that starting, beginning and ending. Can you define yourself in this moment? What is true? What is real and present here now? Without all the labels, without all the conditionings, without all the ideas about who you are, what this is. What's left? What remains? Breathe. Breathing easily and gently. breathe easily and gently. If thoughts arise, just let them come and go. Don't pay any attention to them. Just stay as the awareness. Give your attention to the space between the thoughts. And see if you can catch a thought. So right now, just wait for the next thought. Be curious about where it's going to come from. See if you can catch it. breathing easily and gently. Whole body relaxed. In your own time, when you feel ready, you can gently begin to open your eyes. Just give yourselves a moment. Thank you for joining me for this morning's meditation and wisdom session. You can connect with me on my Deanne Awakening Love page and on my Deanne G page. I'm available to work with you one-to-one on anything that you may be experiencing in your life right now. I also have a sliding scale to make sure that nobody is left out due to funds. If you would like to make a contribution to my PayPal, I'll include the link with this video in the description. Please also check out my website, which is www.awakeninglove.co.uk. I look forward to being with you all again tomorrow at the same time, 9 AM British Summer Time, London time. Have a blessed day, blessed evening, blessed afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and see you all tomorrow. Much love.